Hello, everyone. I hope you guys had a great day today. I welcome you all to the second part of the Understanding Time and Work session. This is my 15th lecture on Unacademy's CAT channel. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, do it right away, guys. And you know how this session is going to be, so like this video before even we finish with this session. Now, if there's anyone who's new here, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Amit Surana. I am an aeronautical engineer from Chennai, and I have over 5 years of teaching quantitative aptitude, and I've trained over 2 lakh students to achieve their dreams. If you're planning on sharing this on any of your social media platforms, do not forget to use the hashtag #CatLiveDaily, which will help others also know what you're doing. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, An Academy's CAT channel, if you haven't already subscribed to us, guys, do not think twice. Go ahead and subscribe right away. And if you haven't already liked this video, you know the session is going to be as great as the other ones. So do not forget to like this video as well. Now, let me tell you a little bit about the platform that we have, the community that we are creating on Telegram. We have over 100 aspirants who've already joined this community, people who all have a similar aim. Yes, cracking cat. Yeah. If you also want to be a part of this community, download the Telegram app and just type in this web address tinyurl.com /unacademy chat on your web browser. This will redirect you to the group. And I am also a part of the group. If you have any questions with regards to the sessions that we take or any guidance that you require, you can always reach out to me. I am available throughout the day. Okay, now a little bit about today's session. Yes, our session today is the second part of understanding time and work. In the first part, what we had looked at is what is efficiency, what is the relationship between efficiency, work, and time, what is individual efficiency and combined efficiency. Now, in today's session, the a few concepts that we'll be dealing with would be negative efficiency or negative work. We would also be looking at partial work, and at the end, we will also deal with something called the chain rule. These three concepts would lay the foundation for every time and work and pipes and turns kind of question. So, without waiting any further, let's begin with the session. First thing that we'll talk about today is negative work. Now, the term itself clearly, explains to us that it is going to be a work that is in negative manner. So the nature here would be opposite to what everyone else or everything else is. For example, let's take the very common example here, the pipe concept. Yes. So if there is an inlet pipe that can fill a tank, yes, this particular pipe, let's call it pipe A. Pipe A's efficiency would be considered positive. Why? Because it's doing the work of filling a tank. However, if there is a pipe that empties the tank, let's say pipe B empties the tank, right? It does not fill the tank, it does not do similar work like A, it does the work opposite of that, that is emptying the tank. We consider that work to be negative. So in simple words, negative work or negative efficiency is basically any work that is done in the opposite direction of the other worker. Simple as that, right? Now, what we define as negative, it need not always mean that emptying the tank is negative, but since that default understanding helps us answer a lot of questions very, easily, very efficiently, we stick to that. Otherwise, we can also assume if the common work is to fill a tank, or sorry, if the common work is to empty a tank, then I can consider emptying the tank as positive and filling the tank as negative. Yes, the choice is ours. However, it has to be understood, it has to be kept in mind that emptying the tank was the positive work. Yes, so whatever be the work, filling a tank or emptying a tank, uh, building a wall or breaking it, laying a rail or removing it, whatever, right? Whatever be the work, yes, if in one direction we consider it positive, then the other has to be negative. Simple, right? Although it does not have any impact on the actual work that is. Yes. All right. Now let's look at an example. Let's see how we can use negative work when there's combination of efficiency. So here there is a question that says if Kiran can wrap a gift in 5 minutes and Karan can unwrap it in 10 minutes, then working together, how long would it take for them to wrap three gifts? Yes, so there are two people. One, Kiran is trying to wrap a gift, but Karan is trying to do something opposite to Kiran's direction. That is unwrapping the gift. Yes, their individual times are given. What the question is asking for is how much would be the combined time. Yes, so we start off this question like we start off any other question, right? Let's label out what their times are, what efficiencies are, right? So Kiran, if I consider one to be the unit of a gift, yes, so Kiran can wrap a gift, one gift in 5 minutes, and Karan can unwrap a gift in 10 minutes. However, time cannot be negative, but then the efficiency. For example, Karan's efficiency would be plus 1 by 5 because our understanding, our assumption is wrapping a gift is a positive. Then Karan's efficiency would be what? In negatives. Yes, so one gift wrapped in 10 minutes, which means every minute 1/10 of a gift would be wrapped or unwrapped in this. Yes, since we use minus, it's understood that it is unwrapping. So now they're asking for both. If Kiran and Karan both are together. Now, one thing is clear. One thing is clear. If Kiran alone works, it takes 5 minutes. When Karan helps out, but then Karan does not do a work in the same direction, right? Karan does the work in the opposite direction, which means the time would be obviously more than 5. Do you get it? It has to be more than 5. Yes. So if there are answer choices to these kind of questions, you can eliminate any answer choice that is less than 5 or equal. Right. Now let's look at this. So their combined efficiency would be what? 1/5 minus 1/10. If I take the LCM, this would be what? 2 by 10. 2 by 10 minus 1 by 10 is how? 1 by 10. You get it? Yes. So together they can do 1/10, right? They can wrap 1/10 since this is positive. Do you see, right? That the effective work is positive, which means they are together wrapping the gift. Yes. So if they can wrap 1/10 of a gift in a minute, then how long would it take to wrap a complete gift? Yes, that's the question. Yes. So what do you do here? Time is nothing but work over efficiency. In this case, work is assumed as 1. So 1 over 1 by 10, which is nothing but the reciprocal of 1 by 10. So do you see how together they take actually more time than Kiran individually? Yes, it would take 10 minutes wrap a gift if both Kiran and Karan were added together. Understood? Yes. So here I do not have to begin with an assumption that the work is one gift or one unit. I can start off with any number. In fact, it would be way easier if I had started off with 10 units, right? In that case, what would have been the answer? 10 units. Yes, so 10 units can be done in 5 minutes by Kiran. In that case, 2 units per minute. Yes, and Karan can unwrap 10 units in 10 minutes, which means 10 units in 10 minutes. 1 unit is unwrapped every minute, or the work in this case would be what? Negative. So what do you have ultimately? You are left with 1 unit per minute work when both of Kiran and Karan work together. Yes. So at 1 unit per minute, they have to complete what? The work remains the same, 10 units, right? Since our assumption is 10 units, the work remains the same, 10 units. And we know time is nothing but work over efficiency. Your work remains to be the same. That's yes, over their efficiency, that's 1 unit per minute. Yes, it takes them 10 minutes. Now you have to read the question carefully though. Yes, because this is the answer that you expected. Yeah. But what is the question that they're asking? They're asking for 3 gifts. Yes. So a lot of us do not consider the expected question, right? So we have to consider what the question is expecting of us rather than sticking to what we've got. So for one gift, if it takes 10 minutes for them, then for 3 gifts, it's going to take how much? Thrice the time. Yes. Why? Because if their efficiency is fixed, if their efficiency is constant, then time and work are directly proportional. It would take what? 30 minutes to wrap 3 gifts. Are we clear? Yes. So the same answer here as well. Just that we dodge fractions if we use LCM method, right? So this is the fraction method. This is the LCM, right? You can hang on to any one of these, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Yes, but my suggestion would be wherever possible, avoid fractions because they could sometimes, put you in danger. Yes, that's it. Yeah. So that was the understanding of negative work. Now, if you understood that, yes, if you understood what negative work or negative efficiency has an impact on the total work, then this question should be extremely simple. Go ahead, read this question. You do not have to, you know, get the answer real quick. You can take your time for now. Yes. But then try to understand, try to, etch the understanding, the concept of negative work into your mind. Yes. So what does the question say? The question say that a mason can build a wall in 6 hours normally, but takes 4 hours longer to build because of a drilling work happening next door. Which means a mason is trying to build a wall because of some disturbance, some drilling work happening next door. It is taking 4 hours longer. So can I say the drilling work is actually impeding or causing a hurdle in mason's work? In other terms, can I say the drilling work is actually trying to do negative work here? Yes, great, super. Now, what does the question say? If a wall is completely built, how long would the drilling work take to break the entire wall? Which means now the mason alone sits and builds a wall, walks off, right? Now, when the drilling work happens next door, how long would it take to break the entire wall? Yes. So this is as similar as the previous question, right? Mason is doing positive work, drilling work is doing negative work. Together is given to us. Mason's individual time is given. What we have to find is the time taken by the drilling work to break the wall. Yes. So with this understanding, let's try and answer this question. Yes. So Mason takes 6 hours to build the wall. Correct. Mason takes 6 hours to build. When both mason and drilling work are at their action at the same time, when both are active at the same time, what happens? He takes 4 hours extra, which means now when both of them are active, it takes 10 hours. Yes, 10 hours for them to, yes, or build the wall. Yeah. Again, here I can go ahead and consider 1 to be the work, but since I do not want to get involved in fractions, I'm going to deal with whole numbers here. Yes, so I'm considering the work in terms of bricks, and 6 and 10's LCM would be 60. So I'm assuming one wall to be 60 bricks. Yes, one wall to be what? 60. Got it? Yeah. Now, mason's efficiency would be what? 60 bricks in 6 hours. This basically means 10 bricks in an hour. Do you agree? Yes, so 10 bricks per hour. Why? 60 bricks, 6 hours, 1 hour, 10 bricks. Yes. Okay, and how about both? How about both? When both mason and drilling are together, 60 bricks are laid in 10 hours, which means every hour 6 bricks were laid. Correct? Now, what do I have to find out? What should be subtracted? Since drilling work is doing the negative work, what should be subtracted from 10 to give me a 6? Can you quickly tell me? What should be subtracted from 10 to give me 6? 4. Yes, correct. Basically means if the drilling work happening next door can break 4 bricks in an hour, correct? Negative means what? Breaking it, right? Can break 4 bricks in an hour. They're asking how long will it take for 60 bricks to be broken? Or in other words, time is what? Work over efficiency. Yes, work is 60 bricks. Efficiency is what? Breaking 4 bricks every hour. Yes, the terms, it would take the drilling machine 15 hours. Yes, it would take the 15 hours to break an already built. So do you understand this? Right? The logic is very simple. Just that any work happening in the opposite direction is to be considered negative. Yes. So if I were to consider building a wall as negative, then in that case, Mason's efficiency would be negative. At the same time, their overall efficiency would also turn out to be negative. Yes, and in this case, drilling would be +4. Yeah, so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to confuse myself. Yes, building is positive, breaking is negative. Simple, right? So 15 hours would be the answer to. Yes. If you have any confusions, guys, do not hesitate before dropping a comment. You can drop a comment, or if any part of this you are not able to understand, you can very well ask me. You can also contact me on my Telegram ID. Yes, which is Amit_Surana. Yes, and I'm also a part of the group, so you can anytime contact me. You can ask me from here as well, right? Okay, and if you've understood what negative work is, guys, go ahead, hit like. Yes, if you haven't already subscribed, you know what to do. Go ahead and subscribe as well, right? Great. So this was the end of negative work, and I hope you have all understood what negative work is, and it has now been etched in your mind, right? Great. Now let's move ahead to the next concept. The next concept that we are going to deal with here is very, very interesting. That is called partial work. What do I mean by partial work? So partial work, according to me, means when a particular group of people, right, a particular group of people are set out to do some task. Yes, but then in between, either someone leaves or someone extra joins. Yes, probably n days before the completion of work or n days after the completion. Yes, actual completion of work, or the other way around, right? If they leave or join n days, if they join n days after, or if they leave n days before the scheduled completion, right? So there are multiple scenarios here. Yes, but the base for all of it would remain the same. Yes, so if you've not understood any of this here, do not worry. You would come across questions. When, let's say, A and B have to work, but then A does not work along with B. Yes, first B starts working, then in the middle, right, midway of the work, B joins or A joins. Yes, or they work alternative. Right, all these situations fall under this common scenario called partial. Yes, so if you want to understand this better, you'll have to continue with the example, right? So let's read this example here. What does it say? It says that A can do a work in 10 days and B can do the same work in 20 days. They work together for 5 days and then A goes away. In how many more days will B finish? Yes, that's the given work. That's the given question here, that in how many more days, right? I'm going to highlight a few parts of it so that we don't get confused. How many more days will B finish the work? Yes, so how many more days is. Yes. All right. So let's try and answer this question. What do we know? We know that A takes 10 days to do a work, B takes 20 days to do. Yes. I can either consider work to be one unit, which I'm not going to, since it is, too much of a hard work. I'd rather consider the work to be 20 units. Why 20 units? Because it's the LCM of 10 and 20, right? Okay, so 20 units of work to be done in 10 days, which every day 2 units would be done. Would you agree? And how about B? B would do 1 unit every day. Yes. All right. Now, what does the question say? The question say that first 5 days, right? For 5 days, both of them work together. Correct? Isn't that what the question says, right? They work together for 5 days. Yes. So they work together for 5 days, which means 5 days. Every day they can together build what? 3 units. Correct? They can together do 3 units, which means in 5 days they'd be able to do 3 into 5, 15, right? So 15 units of work is completed. Yes, out of how much though? Initially they were set out to do 20 units. Out of that, if 15 units are done, this basically means another 5 units worth of work is remaining. Yes, and who leaves the job? A leaves the job, which means who has to complete this remaining 5 units? B has to, right? What is time, guys? Time is work over efficiency. Yes, work in this case is 5 units remaining. Yes, and who has to do this work? B alone has to do work, which means his efficiency is 1. So working at 1 unit per day, To complete 5 units, it would take how long? Yes. Now the question clearly is asking what? How many more days would it take? How many more days would it take? 5 days. Yes. If at all the question was how many days did it take for them to complete the work, then in that case it would be what? 5 days of B working alone and 5 days of A and B working together. 10 days in total. Right? So do we have any confusions here? Yes. So in case of partial work, the LCM method comes in very handy because you now do not have to deal with fractions, or you do not have to bring up the sum of their individual work to be one, right? You have 20 units. You have the units to be, greater in terms of number, right? So it actually seems like you're working towards some. Yes. All right, so if you've understood this example, if this example was very much understood by you, then I'd do a shot on the second example in this case, right? Go ahead, read this example, right? Here there are three people working, A, B, and C. Yes. And there is a special case scenario here, right? So A can work in 18 days, B can work in 9 days, and C can work in 6 days. Now the question is asking what? A and B start working together, and after 2 days C. Right? So what is the idea here? First A and B start working. Yes. After 2 days, C joins them, which means for them to reach this point where all three are working, yes, they should have first, A and B should have first worked for 2 days. Yes, after working 2 days, C joins. Yes, what does the question say? In how many days will the job be complete? They're not asking for the extra time, they're asking for full time. Right? So here we have 18 days, 9 days, and 6 days. Yes, LCM is right in front of you, right? 18, 9, and 6, LCM is 8. I'm going to start with that assumption that the work is 18 units. Yes, since they're doing the same work, right? 18 units in 18 days, which means 1 unit every day. 18 units in 9 days, which means 2 units every day. And 18 units in 6 days, which, yes, what do we know? A total of 18 units is to be done, right? So we can keep this aside so that we know if we've reached the total work or not, right? So A and B first work for 2 days, right? So A and B, they work for how many days, right? A and B every day can do how many? 1 plus 2, 3 units, correct? Every day they can do 3 units. Yes, they're working for how long? They're working for 2 days, which means they'd be now able to do how 6 units. Yes. Now out of 18, 6 units are already completed. How much is remaining now? How much is remaining? 12 units, right? The 12 units are remaining now. These 12 units need to be done by whom? All three of them, right? So A, B, and C, all three of them have to A, B, and C, their combined efficiency, or in other terms, every day they'll be able to do how many? 1 plus 2 plus 3, that is 6 units. That is their efficiency, right? What is time? Time is nothing but work over efficiency. Yes. In this case, the work remaining is how much? 12 units. What is their combined efficiency? 6 in this case. What do we get? 2. But would my answer be 2 days for this question? Why? Because the question does not ask how many extra days or how many days does C work. No. What do they ask? They ask how long would it take for the work to be completed, which means this would be incomplete work. Just these 2 days would be incomplete work without including these 2 days, right? So in total we have what? Days plus these 4 days. Got it? Yes. If they work for 4 days in such manner, they'd be able to. In this case, it would be what? 18. You can do the same thing with fractions. Just that fractions would be a t bit confusing. Great. So if you've understood this, right? So now where are we at? We are at people joining, right? The first example we looked at one person leave. The second example we looked at one person, right? Now the third example is a combination of, look at this. Roger can do a piece of work in 10 days, Victor can do it in 12 days, and Tom can do it in 15. They all start the work together, but Roger leaves after 2 days and Victor leaves 3 days before the work is complete. Here, what is happening? Roger leaves after 2 days, which means Roger also would have contributed his efficiency in these 2 days. Yes. Victor leaves 3 days before the work is completed. The work is completed in n days. Yes. Then Victor would have left at n minus 3. Got it? Yes. So in order to understand this, right, in order to understand this, it's best if we use something called a timeline, right? Just for the understanding, you do not have to draw this every time you want to solve a question. But this will help you understand, uh, what their individual efficiencies are at different points, right? So first things first, what do we know? Roger, Victor, and Tom, all three work for how many days? For some days. How many days? 2, right? For 2 days, right? For 2 days, who work? Roger works, Victor works, and Tom works. Yes, for 2 days. After 2 days, who leaves? Roger leaves. For some number of days, we do not know how many, right? For some number of days, Roger does not work, which means only Victor and Tom work. Yes, we do not know how many days. Yeah. But what do we know? That Victor leaves 3 days before the work is completed. So if we assume that this is when the work was supposed to be completed, this was their combined time. Yes, not the scheduled one, actual one, right? This is when, if they had done this, it would have completed on this day. But what happens? Victor leaves 3 days before. So initially only, so in this case, in the second case, only Victor and Tom were working. If Victor also left, which means Tom would be working for how long? Right? Do you agree? Yes. So in order to answer this question, in how many days the work is completed, it would be days plus 3 days plus how many other days Victor and Tom take. Yes. So now I can again move ahead with fractions if I want, but I'd rather not. Yes. So what would I do? The same thing. Yes. I'd consider the work to be in such a way that it would not cause any, it would not bring in any fractions into, right? So what do we have here? Roger can complete a work in 10 days, Victor in 12 days, and Tom in 15. I'm going to assume the LCM to be what? I'm going to assume the work to be the LCM, which is 60 units is divisible by all three, 10, 12, and yes. Roger, 60 units, 10 days, which means every day 6 units. Victor, 60 units, 12 days, which means every day 5 units. And Tom, 60 units in 15 days, which means every day 4. Yes. Now, according to the timeline, what do we know? Roger, Victor, and Tom can work for 2 days, right? Roger plus Victor plus Tom in one day can do how much work? 15 units, right? Uh, 7 plus 4, 15. 15 units of work every day. But they work for how long? They work for, which means Roger, Victor, and Tom together would have completed 30 units of work. So out of 60, 30 units worth of work is, which means remaining is how much? Yes. Now we do not know the mid part of the timeline, right? The mid part of the timeline, this particular area is unknown. How much time do Victor and Tom, right? What do we know for sure? That the last 3 days are worked alone by Tom. Yes. So let's calculate that. Tom, so I do not know this mid part, right? Victor and Tom, this particular is, yes, but what do I know? I know that Tom alone works for how many days? 3 days. So Tom can complete 4 units every day, and working for 3 days, yes, to complete how much? Complete 12 units. Yes. So out of 30 that was remaining, that was to be done by these two groups of people, right? 12 units are done. How much is remaining now for Victor and Tom to do in the middle? Correct. 30 minus 12, 8. Victor and Tom's efficiency is what? 5 plus 4, 9 units. Yes, so Victor and Tom can do 9 units every day. Yes, what are they asking? Time is what? Work over efficiency. Work in this case is not 60 units, it is how much? 18. Victor and Tom now when they work as a group, they only have to do 8. Their efficiency is what? 9 units per day. Means Tom and Victor, right? The time taken by them would be much. Yes. So in totality, right? How long is it taking them? 2 days as a group of three, 2 days as a group of two, and 3 days working solo. Yes. How long? Yes. If they follow this pattern, their work of 60 can be done. Got it? This 60 is just an assumption. Any number you take here, the ultimate answer would always be the same because work and efficiency would be proportional. Yes. What's my answer? 7 days. So in 7 days, they'd be able to complete. If at all the question had asked specifically how long do Victor and Tom work as a group, then it would be 2 days here and 2 days earlier also, right? Got it? Yes. Individually, 2 days as a group of three, and Victor and Tom 2 days, and then only Tom. Yes. So that if you understand this, right, this is the basic understanding of partial work. Yes, when people join in or people leave, yes, with n days after, or if they leave n days before the completion of task, all of that. Yes, yeah. So if you understand this, then you've covered almost every kind of question that is a part of time and work, except for one, which is what we are going to see now. Yes. So can you guys quickly confirm? Let me know in the comment section if you understood everything that we've spoken so far. Yes. Also, do not forget to like if you understood so far. If you think this has helped you change your perception, if you think that this has helped you change the way you start solving a question, your approach, then do not forget to like this video. Yes, great. Okay. So now if all of this is done, right? If all of this is done, so far we've done what? We've looked at what negative work is, and we've also looked at partial. Yes. The next thing that we are going to look at is something called chain. Yes. Now, what do you mean by chain rule, and what are the scenarios or what are the situations where you can use this particular? Yes. Now, the basis of chain rule is nothing but the efficiency. Yes, upon or if the product of efficiency and time, right? The ratio of this over work, yes, should be the same in every case, provided when I say n, they should be of the similar efficiency. When I say t, it should be of the same unit of time. Work could be any unit in any unit given, right? Work can be any quantity in any unit. So here, when I say N1 T1 by W1, it basically means N1 could be the efficiency or the number of people in a group, anything, right? Or number of machines working, anything, right? So the first group, let's say, let me give you a very quick example. The first group, yes, if they have 12 people working, yes, and if they work for 5 hours, yes, so T time could be in any unit, hours, minutes, days, seconds, months, years, anything, right? Provided it has been maintained throughout. Yes. So number of people into the time is another way of talking about work. Would you agree? Yes. So if I were a contractor, let's say I'm a contractor, right? I would not know individual efficiencies of all people. Yes, I would not know if I have 100 people, then I'd not know what is each of their individual efficiencies, right? And it would not make sense also to consider that. Why? Because if someone works faster, the other person would work slower, right? So it'll get tallied out, and what we're looking there is the average of their efficiency, right? So keeping that in mind, what we assume here, we start with an assumption that if 12 people are working, then each of these people have similar efficiency. Yes. And if they work for 5 hours, which means they could either do some work, let's say, one unit of work, let's say laying a road, or building a wall, anything, right? Writing a book, painting a picture, anything, right? So I can either say this is one, road being laid, or I can say the work that they have done is worth the people hours. Yes, 60 people hours, which means when 12 people work for 5 hours, they're actually putting in their individual efficiencies for 5 hours. So every hour 12 people's efficiency, then 5 hours 60 people's efficiency, right? Now in the second case, yes, if I say that the same one road is to be laid, the same one road is to be laid, right? But instead of 12 people, if we have only 10 people working on it, yes, then would it take us more than 5 hours or less than 5 hours? Yes. So what do we know? We know that the work is constant. Do you see the work is constant here? If the work is constant, what do we know for a fact? That time and efficiency are inversely proportional. Yes. So if so here this is efficiency, right? Efficiency is what? 12 changed to 10, which means the efficiency decreases in this case. If the efficiency decreases, time has to increase, which means my answer must be more than 5 hours. Got it? Yes. So that is the understanding of the relationship between efficient work and time. Yes. But if we were to find out how much, right? How long should these 10 people work to do the same one road to be laid kind of work? Yes. So here you have multiple ways of dealing with it. You could always stick to percentage change, or if this gets multiplied by 1.2, then time would get divided by 1.2 or whatever, right? But then the standard way would be what? The actual work, right? In terms of people hours, the actual work is what? 60 people hours worth of work, right? So the same 60, right? The same 60 people hours worth of work is to be done by these 10 people. Yes, so time is what? Work over efficiency. Work in this case is 60 people hours. Efficiency is 10 people's efficiency. They put now 6 hours. Yes. So I can do this. I can always go ahead and use percentages and all that, right? But then when push comes to shove, let's say we have not one kind of people working on it, two different kinds of people working on it, the two different types of machines working with different efficiencies, right? Then the percentage change may not be very much used, right? So to bring this into full functionality, we can use this chain rule. So if I were to use this chain rule here, what would I get? N1 T1, in this case N1 is what? 12 people. T1 is what? 5 hours. Yes. And work is to do what? Lay one road. Yes. This should be equal to what? 10 people working for I don't know how many hours, let's call it H, to lay the same one road. Yes, so this ratio, right, people hour over work, this ratio should be same in every case, provided we're looking at the same people, same kind of people, not same people exactly, but same kind of people, or at least the people having the same efficiency. Yes, so what do we have now? 12 into 5 is equals to 10 into H, or H would become what? 12 into 5, that is 6. Yes, that's the answer that we've gotten, right? So this is chain rule, and this could actually be very useful in answering maximum number of questions from time and right. A lot of questions, especially in CAT, come from relating to chain rule. Yes. Excuse me. So if you've understood this, if you've understood the idea of chain rule, then the next question would be a very fun thing. Yes, let's look at this question. Try to read this question, understand what it is trying to say. Yeah. So what do we have here? 6 printers can print a book in 12 minutes. How many printers are needed to print a similar book in? So what is given to us? Printers, minutes. In the other case, printers is what is unknown, minutes is given. And what is the work? Printing one book. Yes. So now I can always go ahead and use percentages, right? 6 printers, yes, 12 minutes. The other end, what do I have? I don't know. X printers for, yes. What is happening here? If you look at this, the time, right? The work is the same, right? The work is same, printing one book. Yes. Work is constant. Yeah. That means if time increases, they should basically mean what? That the people, yes. Now what is happening here? 1.2 becomes what? 18, which means this gets multiplied by 1.5, can I say? 12 plus half of this. 6 is 18. Okay? Multiplying it by 1.5. Or in other terms, let's write it in, fractions here in this 3 by 2. Yes. So if I were to multiply 12 with 3 by 2, what would I get? What would I do here? I would divide this by 3 by 2, or I would multiply this with the reciprocal. That's 2. Yes. 6 into 2 by 3 is how much? Of x would. Yes. So I can answer this question obviously using percentage change, or the idea of the relationship inversely proportional. Or I can always stick to what? The chain rule. What is the chain rule? N1 T1 by W1 should be equal to N2 T2 by W. In this case, what is N1? 6 printers working. For how long? 12 minutes. What is the work they're doing? I don't really care anymore for work, because this is also printing a book, this is also printing a book, which means it anyway would get cancelled. If I don't consider it to be 1, it would get cancelled. The number of printers is what I have to find out. X, let's call it X, yes, into 18 minutes. Again, the work can be a 1, or even if it's 2 or 3, it would get cancelled out. Yes, so what do I have now? 6 into 12 should be X into, or in other terms, if I cancel anything once, twice, this would be once, and this would be 4. The words 72 by 8, or yes. Yeah. So if we understand this, right, if we try to understand what the chain rule is, yes, we can actually answer a lot of questions of this, right? Now, the question that we looked at was extremely easy. You can consider it as level of difficulties, right? When we compare it with questions from, but then this will lay a very solid foundation. Yes. So what do we do here? Here, efficiency into time can also be a representative of work. Yes. All right. Now, if you've understood this, yes, then the next question should be a piece. Yeah. So quickly go ahead, read this question. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes, yes, so that you can sink in this question and then try to answer. Yes. Okay. So have you tried? Have you tried this question? Yes. If you've gotten the answer, very good. Otherwise, you can continue listening to it. Yes. Now, if you think your answer is right, do not forget to like this video. If you think no, your answer seems to be wrong, or there's some hiccup in getting the answer, hit like so that I can give you the solution to it. Yes. Okay. So the question says what? 8 managers or 12 salesmen can sell a product in 24. Okay. In how many hours can the product be sold by 6 managers and 11 sales? Yes. What are they saying? The question is asking for 6 managers and 11 salesmen working together to sell a product. Yes, so I need to find out the time here that 6 men and 11 salesmen take to do, right? What does the question say here? 8 managers, 8 managers can do a work in 24 hours. Yes. And 12 salesmen, 12 salesmen, yes, can sell the similar product in 24. Yeah. Now, since I do not want two different efficiencies here, right? Men and salesmen, manager and salesman, I don't want two different efficiencies. So to make it common, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the ratio between them. Since they both take the same time, can I say 8 men's efficiency and 12 salesmen's efficiency would be, yes, can I say 8 men would be as hardworking as 12 salesmen? Yes. Or in other terms, 2 managers would be doing the same work as, right? Now the ratio has been established, right? The ratio has been established. Men is to salesmen is what? 3 is to 2. Or two managers, not men, I'm sorry. M keeps reminding me of M. Don't worry though. Two managers' efficiency is the same as 3 salesmen's efficiency, right? What does the question ask? The question asks 6 managers and 11 salesmen. So I can now either convert this into managers, right? I can convert the salesmen into managers, or I can convert managers into salesmen. What seems to be doable is converting managers into salesmen, because 11 salesmen, then I'll have to, deal with fractions here, right? So here 6 managers. So 2 managers are 3 salesmen. That means 6 managers would be what? This into 3 would give me 6, correct? Means this all. In other terms, what do I have? 9 salesmen. Yes, 6 managers are 9 sales, right? So 9 salesmen plus 11 sales. That would give me what? 20. Yes. What are they asking? How long would it take for them to sell this product? What do I know? I know 12 salesmen can sell a product in 24 hours. Yes. That's the given deal here, that 12 salesmen, right? 12 salesmen. I'm going to write this again here. 12 salesmen would take 24 hours to sell a product. Then every salesman, one salesman would take how long? Would it be 2 hours? No. Why? Because efficiency and time are inversely proportional, right? Here, if I'm going to divide this by 12, yes, other end I'll have to multiply with, right? Yes. So one salesman would obviously take more time than 12 salesmen, right? How much time? 24 into, yes. Now what are we doing? Now they want us to find out for 20 salesmen. Yes, the 20 salesmen. In other terms, what do I do here? Here I multiply with 20. So if I multiply with 20 here, what should I do here? I should, yes. How much time would it take them? 4 into 12. What is this? 10 times? Times? Twice. Yes. 12 into 12 is 144, something that I know for a fact. 44 over 10 basically mean, yes, would take 14.4 days for 20 salesmen to, got it? So what have we done here? We've used this ratio, right? We've used this piece of information given to us that 8 managers and 12 salesmen have similar efficiency. Yes. With that, what have I done? I have found out their individual efficiencies ratio with respect to the other person's. Yes. Using this, what have I done? I've used this to, make the efficiency common here. Either convert managers to salesmen or convert salesmen to manager. Yes. Doing that, I found out that there are 20 salesmen worth of efficiency. Not exactly 20 salesmen working, but 20 salesmen worth of efficiency. Yes. Now, if I want, I can use I can use the chain rule from here on. Yes, I can use the chain rule from here on. What is chain rule? N1 T1. So in this case, N1, according to my question here, would be 12 salesmen. T1 would be what? Working for 24. Yes. Since the work is selling the same product, it is 1. Yes. On the other end, what do I have? 6 managers and 11 salesmen. Or in other words, 20 salesmen. Yes. Working for X time. Yes. So salesman, I don't have to cancel this out, but I'm just saying, right? You will get the answer in terms of hours. Cancel out the unit. Yes. You should not cancel out units per se, but Now you can remove them off, right? Commonality. Yeah. So what would be x then? X ultimately would become what? 12 into, if you see what we have done here, using relationship between efficiency and time, the same thing I get here, right? 12 into 24 by 2, that is 88, 88. In other terms, yes. Have you understood this? Right? This is a very simple question, guys. Very simple question. But then this will help you understand the basics of, yes. So if you get any more questions of this sort, you know what you have to do. Right? The first step, the first and the foremost step would be what? To find out the ratio between their efficiency. Yes. All right. So if you've understood this, guys, then we've actually completed most of time and work, right? We've completed most of time and work, which means it's time for me to congratulate you, right? You've learned all the basics of time and work. From tomorrow, what we'll be looking at are time and work with respect to CAT. Yes, we all understand these basic questions are never asked in CAT, right? So these two sessions, today's and yesterday's session, were only to help you understand the basics of. Yes. So from tomorrow, what we'll be doing is working on actual CAT questions. Yes. So tomorrow we'll be looking at actual CAT questions from 2007. Yeah. So be prepared. I will see you tomorrow at the same time, 6:30 p.m. Yes. Until then, thank you very much, guys. Yes. Also, if you're planning on joining any community, I'd say this is one place where you must be. If you are a CAT aspirant and if you want to aim for 100 percentile, this is a place where there is information sharing as well as a lot of mood. Yes, all you have to do is download the Telegram app, use your web browser to type in this address tinyurl.com/unacademy cat. This will redirect you to the Unacademy Cats Telegram group. Yes, I've seen over 100 people have already joined this. Yes, the only way to make the information sharing to be stronger is if we add more members to it. If you haven't already joined this, guys, please go ahead and do this. Yes, and yeah, the subscription. Yes, so if you are a person who has already given CAT earlier in 2019 or 2018 and haven't gotten the score that you always aimed for, right? Then this is a place where you have to be, right? On YouTube, obviously we do live classes and there is interaction with the education, that is it. But then if you want a more concentrated environment and ambience that is purely dedicated towards learning, then this is where you have to be. Yes, you have to take up the Unacademy's Plus subscription, which will help you focus on what you are aiming for, right? So apart from the live classes that we also do on, there would be a more concentrated interaction with me. Along with that, since CAT and percentile is all about your competitors, you have to know where you stand. Yes, so your live polls and leaderboard would also help you understand where you are with respect to the other people who are taking this test or your competitors in this. Yes, and the best part about this product is what? The test series and analysis. Yeah, where a lot of other vendors, online or offline, sell this test series separately. Yes, for a price that is more expensive than what an academy is giving, right? So this and the analysis, right? So they either give you the test and they do not give you the analysis, or if they give you both, then they charge a lot for that, right? But if you take this up, right, as a package, the test series and its analysis would also be a part of it. Yes, and the last thing is what you should actually spend all your money for, right? This is the this is something that will use all the money that you've spent. Yes, that is live doubt clearing session. So if you are solving something on your own, if you're using any of the third party books, any other material, right, and you come across any question that you're not able to understand, yes, now instead of one searching for whom do I ask, to whom do I should I ask a friend, should I ask a colleague, instead of doing that, what I will have to do is what? Take a picture and upload it on the Plus platform. Yes, what will I do in turn? The moment I see this, I'm going to talk about this live with you. Yes, So we will not only answer this question, right, the question that you put up, I'll also answer your doubts, any queries that you have with regards to that, I'll surely help you out. Yes. But for all of this, what would you have to do? You'd have to download the Unacademy's learning app and go to the Plus platform, because that's what you have to subscribe for, right? And since you're planning on taking CAT, you can go ahead and click on CAT. If you have other friends or relatives or colleagues who are planning on taking any other competitive exams, then that is also available here, right? But since you are applying for CAT, you can go ahead and do that. Yes, all you have to do is get subscription here. Now you'd be wondering, sir, that it seems very, awkward paying for something that I can get for free, right? Let me tell you one thing, guys, that the price, right, the price at which this entire package, yes, is priced at is extremely affordable. Yes, for 12 months you have to pay only 1500 per month. That actually seems doable. In fact, it's less than 1500. Yes, which is very much doable. Yeah, compared to the competitors. Yes, also compared to the amount of benefits you get here. Yes, this amount is purely affordable. As an added advantage, because you're listening to me and then you would be taking up the Plus subscription, yes, you can use this code Surana Live. That will fetch you a discount as well. Yes, and that discount would be on me. Yes, all you have to do is what? Use the code Surana Live. Yeah, so I'm hoping I would see you all, at least some of you on the Plus platform, people who are, determined to crack CAT in the first attempt, or if you do not want to give any more attempts, if you're already given, right, if you want to get the score that you've always dreamt of, this is what will help you get it. Yes, thank you very much, guys. Thanks a lot for listening to me. If you have any question, any queries, you can always drop in your comments. If you have any more questions that you want to, personally be dealt with, you can always contact me on Telegram. My ID is Amit_Surana, where A and S would be in cap. Yes. And if you already haven't subscribed this, please go ahead and do that. If you haven't started sharing this on your social media platform, guys, please do it, because your friends also must know what's going on, right? And other people should also know that apart from binge watching things, you're also doing something more productive. Yes. And if you already haven't clicked on the notification sign, guys, if you haven't turned on the notification, please go ahead and do that. That will keep you reminded that a new video is uploaded. Yes. So thank you very much, guys, for your patience. The notes for this would also be readily available. Yes. I will see you tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Until then, thank you very much. Good night. Bye bye.